never given much thought to how I would die. But dying in the place of someone I love seems like a good way to go.
The Twilight Saga is a billion-dollar franchise that took the world by storm. Team Edward and Team Jacob. Like, seriously, this was breaking up happy homes, marriages, friendships, family ships. It was insane. This franchise has hats, shirts, accessories, museums, and Twilight experiences. You can still, this very day, find main cast and supporting cast, even at Comic-Cons. Twilight still has tours and festivals. The biggest one is Forever Twilight in Forks that showcases this very, very creepy Chuck Esme doll that I personally would love to see myself in person. The Twilight series was literally the first book I read after watching the movie and the first book I read before watching the movie. If you don't follow, catch up. So I first watched the movie Twilight and was addicted like everybody else. Couldn't stop watching it and I wanted more. So I began to read the books. And after I read the books, I watched the movie. Perfect experience. If you have never done that, do it. Read the book, then watch the movie or a show. You won't regret it. The first book of the series was published in September 2005, self-titled Twilight. The second book was published in 2006, titled New Moon. The third book, Eclipse, was published in 2007. And the fourth book, titled Breaking Dawn, was published in 2008. These books sold over 160 million copies worldwide. The series also includes Twilight Reimagined, Life and Death, where there's a gender swap, starring Bo Swan and Edith Cullen, published in 2015. There's also an Edward point of view called Midnight Sun that was published in 2020, which I just think is just, that was a masterpiece. Like, I really enjoyed Edward's point of view. The film adaptation grossed over $3.3 billion worldwide. So the last book was broken down in two different parts, part 1 and part 2. And I remember when the last part of Breaking Dawn was premiered, part 2 basically, and they showed with every last Twilight movie, which was an awesome experience for me because I actually did not see Twilight in New Moon in theaters. I did see Eclipse and Breaking Dawn, part 1 and part 2, of course. So that was just an epic experience. I spent all day in the movie theaters. It premiered around my birthday. It was the best birthday gift I could have ever gave myself. Eating popcorn and theater food all day long. They did trivia in between the movies and I won. I won a book question too. Everybody else was winning like movie questions and I got to win a book question, and they gave me a little bookmark, and I forgot what else. I had it for so long it just kind of like deteriorated. But yeah, it was such an amazing experience and would not have traded that day in for nothing. And to think all of this started just over a dream. Myers, the writer, says that she had a vivid dream about a teenage girl in a vampire and she just started writing the book for her own pleasure. So literally, follow your dreams. You never know where it might take you. Did you also know that Twilight inspired 50 Shades of Grey? Those who are old enough to read the book know what I'm talking about, or who are into that kinky sort of thing. If you're underage, do not read that book, okay? Okay? But yes, 50 Shades of Grey started out as a fan fiction by E.L. James called Master of the Universe. Yes, Bella and Edward was reimagined into Anna and Christian, and later published under 50 Shades of Grey after she received backlash about the spooky content in the story. If you're interested about that a little more, I will be doing a Twilight versus 50 Shades on my channel, so don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. But on this video, we are doing a book summary on Twilight, the first book. For all you movie watchers, I read the book, I don't know how many times, like a lot. So you don't have to. Or maybe watching this will make you want to read the book. I suggest you read it because it's really good. So get your breakfast, lunch, brunch, dinner, or snacks because I got the book tea.
Shh, you're in the library.
Twilight is the story of Isabella Marie Swan, a deeply awkward teenage girl who willingly moves to the cloudiest town in America, Forks, Washington. There she meets Edward Cullen, a pale, mysterious boy with great cheekbones and a tendency to glare. Turns out he's a vampire. Not the scary kind. He's the glittery vegetarian kind who drives a Volvo. Despite being over 100 years old.
I'm 109.
Well, maybe I shouldn't be dating such an old man.
Edward falls for Bella fast. And instead of running, Bella decides she's into it. Really into it. Their relationship is intense, codependent, and full of long stares and life or death tension. But things take a dark turn when another vampire decides Bella looks extra scrumptious.
You brought a snack.
We're
Broken
talking.
ballet studio, mirrors, and Edward sucking venom out of Bella's bloodstream like a tragic Capri Sun.
He needs some milk.
She survives. He leaves her human, and she still wants to become a vampire. Because what's more romantic than giving up your life for a guy you met in science class 2 months ago? So reading Twilight with my adult eyes is completely different than reading Twilight with my younger eyes. This book is pure. It's giving moving to a new area, new school, discovering your first crush type of vibe. I have personally experienced all of these things before, so this makes Bella very relatable to me. The author throws in a bit of spice to the typical high school teen drama when she adds that the awkwardly challenged girl falls for a vampire. This makes the mind run wild with possibilities.
Like, what if I actually fell in love with a vampire in high school?
And this is where my younger self and my older self had to have a discussion. Because when I was younger reading Twilight, I really wanted an Edward.
Wanted a stalker, vampire, glittery
And now that
boyfriend.
I'm older, I'm kind of like, this relationship is giving toxic and codependent. And Edward was completely right, but not wanting to turn Bella. Because when I was younger, I was just like, Edward, why are you teasing her? Just do it already. Just change her. She wants to be with you. And now that I'm older, I'm like, live happily ever Bella, after. Girl, this is equivalent to wanting to be a pregnant teenager. No shade, but live your life as freely as high school is not the end of your life. It's literally the beginning. But then again, for Bella, it kind of would have been the end of her life because she literally almost died, not once, not twice, but 3 times in this book.
Maybe 4 times if you include Edward wanting to suck the life out of her.
In biology class, I sort of kind of think Bella's time was pretty much up when she met Edward. She was either destined to become a vampire or a vampire's lunch. But instead, Edward just becomes this stalking vampire superhero that just keeps either one of that from happening.
Like,
and Bella's just like,
gosh, because of you, I'm still alive.
And we're all just like, so I've read Bram Stoker's Dracula,
I am Dracula,
and
blah, blah,
Anne
blah.
Rice, Interview with a Vampire, and I did catch some similarities to those books.
Which I found very cool and subtle, like adding salt to a very sugary cake mix.
Now, I don't want to go in too much detail because I just want to focus on Twilight. But for example, all of the vampires have powers. But what I like in Dracula is we have the mundane observing a fictional magical creature. And the same thing as in Twilight, we have a mundane human observing a fictional creature. But let's be honest, what makes Miss Myers' vampires stick out is that they sparkle in the sun. But I guess if you're a writer of a vampire love novel and you really wanted your vampires to truly be immortal, but they had to have some sort of reaction to the sun, then I guess that's the way to go, right? I really like the way this book ended. Edward says this quote,
And I love when movies, shows, and books mentions the title.
because it's like an aha moment, like, oh, so that's why this is titled this. Or maybe not, I just like it.
And I just found it really funny that Bella had rather become a vampire than go to prom.